air. Gold bells shining, they all dare. Tougher, fists held high. Warriors fight till the night says die. FWE, where battles divine. Every broken bone, all by design. Chained to the thrill, they let it be. This ain't a game, it's FWE. FWE, where battles define. Every broken bone, all by design. Chained to the thrill, they let it be. This ain't a game, it's FWE. Oh, FWE, FWE. Oh, FWE, FWE.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the third iteration of Fantasy Wrestling Entertainment's Saturday night at Springfield. Tonight, it's the semifinals for the Guardians of the Ring tournament before the upcoming PLE this Thursday night. I'm Seth Cole alongside of Jack Mitchell, and Jack, we've done this 3 times before, but this might be the biggest one yet.
It absolutely is. We've got a whole lot of big matches on the card. It's going to kick off here with a tag team match between the family and the Black Pearl Crew. I believe a #1 contenders match.
You would be correct. Of course, we ended up seeing William Turner of the Black Pearl Crew win the Money in the Bank briefcase. It seems like since then the family has targeted him and the Black Pearl Crew as a whole.
The contest is a tag team match set for one fall. On the way to the ring at a combined weight of 365 pounds, the Crew.
And of course as well, we ended up seeing the attack take place with a shocking reveal as well. Ed, and Eddie joining the family.
Yeah, I can't name a single person backstage who saw that coming. Michael Norman was probably the only one, maybe Matt McIntyre, but definitely took us all off guard.
And their opponents, accompanied by at a combined weight of 384 pounds, the family.
See Ed in the middle, Double D on the left, Eddie on the right. Ed and Eddie going to be the 2 participants here. We saw them a couple of weeks ago successfully defeat the duo of the Thrill Seekers, Dylan Young and Kyle Matthews. The Hurt Business were taken down by the Black Pearl Crew, and as you stated, this matchup here tonight is really going to determine the #1 contenders for the men's Disney Tag Team titles currently in the possession of Leonardo and Donatello of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And I'm interested that Michael Norman is nowhere to be found in this matchup. It looks like maybe he could have gone back to his, old ways of hiding out backstage, operating in the shadows. We'll have to see if he maybe makes an appearance later on in this one.
Or is this maybe a trial by fire? He's brought Ed and Eddie into the family, but maybe seeing if tonight they can fly on their own.
Could very well be the case. Either way, here we go. Black Pearl Crew are not going to be an easy opponent.
Yeah, we ended up seeing in that attack of William Turner, Jack Sparrow came down to help up his tag team partner. Kind of seems apropos that both these duos moved on here into this #1 contendership matchup. I mean, you would think this is just a traditional tag team matchup, but there's a lot of animosity in this ring as well.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, the family targeting specifically William Turner after he won that power-up briefcase, so I think they might want to make sure that he's not in any position to cash in.
During the course of the evening, we're going to be seeing 2 semifinals on the men's side, 2 semifinals on the women's side. As I'll hold the phone, it's the most overused move in fantasy wrestling. Enter entertainment. But I was going to mention about the fact we're going to have 4 matchups here tonight, 2 on the men's side, 2 on the women's side, semi-final matchups here to determine who are going to fight in the finals of the Guardians of the Ring tournament, and that's this Thursday night at the Guardians of the Ring PLE.
Yeah, so not a whole lot of rest between those 4 semifinal winners. It's a big fight feel for those people who are participating in those matchups. A couple titles on the line tonight as well.
Yeah, we got the tag team championships on the men's side. They will be defended at the upcoming PLE this Thursday night at Guardians of the Ring. But the women's tag team titles, they are on the line here this evening, catching Fireflies, getting their first opportunity at the belt. Team Let It Go looking to continue their second reign at the top of the women's tag team division.
And on the men's side, that title defense, it's going to be Carson Gum invoking his rematch clause against, I still can't believe I'm saying it, Elmo, the Wayfinder Cruiser Championship.
I'd pinch you, but you're not dreaming. William Turner here taking it to Ed. Remember that it was both Matt McIntyre and Ed that invoked that attack on William Turner a few weeks ago. So if it came down between Ed and Eddie, you'd think that William Turner would be wanting to take Ed on for sure. As here's the tag in to Eddie. And it's interesting too because, you know, when we ended up seeing Ed and Eddie previously here in FWE, yeah, they had chemistry as a tag team, but we never really saw them, I guess, as much of a threat, and maybe that was our fault. Now that they've joined forces here with the family, they've got that power behind them. Now maybe they're going to be taken a lot more legitimate in the tag team division as a cover here by Eddie and a kick out by William Turner.
I mean, you would certainly have to think so, but at the same time, that's also going to be dependent on what happens in this matchup. If they're not able to defeat the Black Pearl crew, you almost have to wonder, can they be taken seriously? Because yes, you know, you made a big show out of adding these people into this faction, but at the end of the day, if you still can't win anything, then what does it matter?
Oh, gracious.
What a kick.
Right out here in front of us, Eddie drop kicked off the apron. Now nobody for Ed to tag, and he's going to find himself in the wrong part of town as now William Turner head first into the turnbuckle, tags Jack Sparrow in, and little double team going on here. It's interesting you look at this trio of Ed and Eddie as well. They kind of all three bring something to the table in joining the family. Of course, Ed, that amazing strength. Eddie, maybe the more unpredictable of the group. And then you've got the brains of Double D. So, I mean, they're like a three-faceted machine here, which you'd have to think is only going to make the family better.
You'd certainly have to think so. And, I mean, that could very well mesh pretty good with Matt McIntyre as well. You have to think about the fact that Matt's still part of the faction, and he's had an iron grip on that United States Championship over 200 days as the U.S. champion. Yeah,
consider this. Go back to the OG days of the family. You had the tag team titles then with Anthony McCurry and Cole Eastwood. Matt McIntyre, even at that point, still had the stranglehold on the United States Championship. Consider the fact here that if Ed and Eddie are able to move on in this tournament, let's speculate that they end up taking the titles at Guardians of the Ring. We're kind of back to square one. The tag titles and the United States Championship would be back in the family faction.
And the funny thing about all that is that Michael Norman still wouldn't have a championship.
That's true. That is
so
a
we really
valid
would kind
point.
of be back to square one.
Big punch there, discus forearm by Eddie. Gonna put a cover here on Jack Sparrow, and William Turner not going to allow that to happen. Let's bear in mind too, the Black Pearl crew, they've yet to hold any type of belt here in FWE, singles or tag teams or otherwise. The only member of the Black Pearl crew that's held a belt here would be Elizabeth Swan, who is a former Women's Universal Champion.
And she had the longest reign as a Universal Champion, and if I'm not mistaken as well, she's in one of these semifinal matchups here tonight, so she's on her way to getting that belt back.
That's going to be a fun matchup there. Elizabeth Swan, Poison Ivy, because it's not the first time we've seen those two lock up before, so it's kind of in a way a rematch between those two.
There's some history between them as well, so do not miss out if you're just tuning in. There's a big knee in the face of Jack Sparrow.
How about another of our semifinal matches tonight on the men's side? Faction teammates of the Outsiders, Flynn Rider and Aladdin. I mean, gonna be interesting to see just how much friendship takes place between the ropes in this one, with a chance at being in the finals at Guardians of the Ring on the line. Oh, look out, Jawbreaker! Jawbreaker by Eddie. Is that going to be enough to move on to #1 contendership? And yes, it is. Wow.
Here are your winners, the
Talking earlier about how they might not be taken seriously if they can't win matches. You can throw that statement out the window.
Their stock continues to rise here in FWE as for the first time ever, they are #1 contenders for the tag team titles. They will take on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, easy for me to say, as at our upcoming PLE this Thursday night. But we talked about those semifinal matches. First one's up next.
Shaggy Rogers, Anthony McCurry. This should be a very fun matchup. Former champions of different kinds. We'll see how they match up in the ring here coming up next.
Raise your hands, let the fire ignite. Bound by fate, we'll win this fight. Through the storm, hear the echoes cling. Side by side, we're the guardians of the ring.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring, representing the Rockers from Richmond, Virginia, weighing in at 220 pounds. Making his way to the
Anthony
ring,
McCurry, one half of the Rockers.
from Richmond,
Going to take part in the first of 4 semifinal matches here tonight. The first of 2 on the men's side. As he's going to get ready to take on Shaggy Rogers. Anthony advancing in one of the final 4 qualifiers, defeating a former Wayfinder Cruiser champion in Cusco, the current Cruiserweight champion in Elmo, who we'll see in action later on tonight, and Ernie the Keebler Alpha, former winner of the Men's Royal Rumble.
Obviously, this is adding some more intrigue to the mix here tonight. He's a former member of the faction that just won that #1 contenders match.
and his opponent, representing the corporation from Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, weighing in at 126 pounds, Shaggy Rogers.
Let me hit you with a date here, Jack. April 10th of 2025. Shaggy Rogers ended up winning that 8-man ladder match to become the Tri-Wizard Championship. He would lose the title a week later to Dylan Young, but let's remember what's at stake here tonight. Not only a chance to advance to the finals this Thursday night at Guardians of the Ring, but an opportunity, if you win this whole tournament, of getting a guaranteed title shot at Combat Evolved. This could be a big moment for Shaggy Rogers on a path to become a 2-time Tri-Wizard champion in FWE.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of people tend to forget that he was a former Tri-Wizard champion just because the reign was so short. It only lasted a week before he lost the rematch to Dylan Young. So, massive opportunity here for Shaggy to really throw himself right back in the title picture.
To my general knowledge, I do not believe that Shaggy and Anthony have ever locked up in an FWE ring, so this may be a first-timer. Shaggy, of course, advancing in his fatal 4-way where he had to defeat Ezio, Thanos, and former Intercontinental Champion Robbie Gilvin. But here we go. Only one can move on to the finals. Who will it be?
Shaggy's definitely starting off flying in this matchup, and you mentioned he took on a guy like Thanos in his fatal 4-way, so certainly not the easiest competition. But now Anthony responding with some drop kicks of his own. Back and forth we go to start this one.
Both these individuals very well versed both in singles and tag team competition. We mentioned about Anthony, his teammate Cole Eastwood of the Rockers, Shaggy Rogers, Fred Jones of Mystery Incorporated, but both have been successful as well in singles competition. So don't necessarily think that either one of these two are going to be pushovers in this matchup.
Absolutely not. As there's a nice reversal there by Shaggy, gets Anthony to the ground.
How much attention do you think this match is getting from Flynn Rider and Aladdin right now, or do you think it's getting any attention from them, maybe them just focusing on their matchup later on this evening?
I would not be surprised if they were just worried about their own matchup this evening, because you can pay as much attention to this as you want, but it's not going to matter if you're not victorious in your own match.
We certainly have to wonder, too, maybe RJ Bishop, the current Tri-Wizard champion, scouting out a potential future opponent, but we keep talking about that all the time. There's no guarantee RJ's even going to be the champion by the time we get to Combat Evolved.
You can't be focused on a hypothetical. You've got to focus on what's right in front of you. Is that
wow.
a vicious backstabber there by Shaggy?
Not your usual backstabber. That was with Anthony perched up on the top rope, so there was a lot more impact there. Same for that springboard moonsault, and Shaggy pulling out all the stops with the springboard Hurricane Rana.
Referee gonna begin that 10 count again. Countouts, DQs, they're all gonna be a factor in this matchup. Not necessarily sure what would happen if we have a double count out.
That's a very good question, and if that were a thing to happen, I would not want to have to be the commissioner Woody trying to figure that problem out.
Well, knowing Woody and what he's done in the past, I feel like he would more than likely just restart the matchup like he's done in the past. We're at a 6 count. Shaggy's down. Anthony's gonna get back into the ring in a 7. Or no, I'm kidding. He's gonna
taking that turnbuckle pad off there. Now he's gonna get in here at a count of 8. Shaggy is still not moved.
This could be over by count.
Oh, man, is Shaggy going to be able to get inside the ring here before referee Ernest Wright administers the 10 count? And I think maybe a little generous there by Ernest Wright. He understands the situation. I think he gave Shaggy, saw him get to his feet, gave him the time to get back in.
Well, now Shaggy's got a cover. He's rolled up Anthony, but Anthony's going to force his way out over that 1.
How about referee Ernest Wright? I love Saturday night at Springfield because then you get to see the referee in a bow tie.
You get all the throwback gear.
Looking a little dapper right there as a cover here by Shaggy to advance to the finals, and Anthony gets the shoulder up at 2.
Yeah, just a few moments ago, we were worried that Shaggy was going to get counted out, and now all of a sudden he's had 2 covers on Anthony. That one was almost it.
Shaggy going up top. What in the world could he be planning here? He's got Anthony in his sights. Whoa!
Oh!
Corkscrew arm drag, and oh, well, I was going to say if he was going to go for a cover, the referee wouldn't have seen it. Uh-oh.
He's going to see this.
Uh-oh. Anthony might not want to turn around. He's not going to like the view. Spear! Cover
Massive
is in.
spear. Cover
Ernest
in the corner.
right here for the cover. And Shaggy is moving on to Thursday night's Guardians of the Rings final.
Here is your winner, Shaggy Rogers.
That was one of the most devastating spears I think I've ever seen. Incredible stuff from Shaggy. Honestly, I don't think it was pretty basically an upset in that first Fatal 4-Way. I don't think anyone was expecting him to win that, and he builds on that performance, and we're going to see him next Thursday competing for a guaranteed title match.
There you see it, Shaggy moving on to the finals. He will either be taking on Flynn Rider or Aladdin. We'll be determining that later on, but we may have just seen the future winner of this tournament on the men's side.
We very well could have seen the future champion. And up next, we have a tournament semifinal on the women's side. Poison Ivy takes on Elizabeth Swan. That's coming up next.
Raise your hands, let the fire ignite. Bound by fate, we'll win this fight. Through the storm, hear the echoes cling. Side by side, we're the guardians of the ring.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring, representing the crew from Kingston, Jamaica, Elizabeth Turner.
Well, Elizabeth Swann, a former Women's Universal Champion. You alluded to it earlier on tonight, the longest reigning Women's Universal Champion. An opportunity here tonight to advance in the Guardians of the Rings final, have an opportunity at a title shot once again at Combat Evolved, but we mentioned it as well. Not the first time that these two have locked up. As a matter of fact, Poison Ivy, one of her biggest accolades of her career was when she, I believe it was her maybe second or third matchup, kicked out of Elizabeth Swann's Pirate's Plunge. Nobody had ever done that before. These two know each other so well.
I was gonna say, I have to wonder if that may be back in the mind of Elizabeth Swann here, knowing that Poison Ivy was able to kick out of her biggest moves. So we'll have to see what her mentality is going into this one. Is she a bit more prepared if that could happen again?
And how about this for both these women? Both have formerly held the Women's Universal Championship. Both have done it for over 100 days.
From parts unknown, Ivy.
Well, for Poison Ivy, you go back to the Fatal 4-Way that she ended up winning. Involved in that Fatal 4-Way was the woman that currently holds the Women's Universal Championship, Elastigirl. We saw Poison Ivy handpick Elastigirl back at the last PLE at Power Up. She lost the title, ending her 100-day reign. But tonight, opportunity to get back into the title picture.
Absolutely big opportunity, and I'm just thinking about more of the history between these two. I really feel like these two are going to bring it all in this matchup.
Let's not forget as well, Poison Ivy ended up winning that last chance qualifying Royal Rumble type matchup to even get into the Fatal 4-Way, and now has an opportunity here tonight to advance into the Guardians of the Ring finals.
This shows you the work that she did to get to this position in the first place. Winning a Royal Rumble style matchup is never easy, and the fact that she was able to win that to be the last person in the bracket in the first place. Now she's one match away from being in the final. Going to be doing everything she can to end up on the victorious end of this one, but you know Elizabeth Swann wants to have that championship around her waist again.
Nice go behind there by Elizabeth Swann. Mentioned it's not the first time these two have faced off. That first time, Elizabeth Swann was at the time holding the Women's Universal Championship and won that match, up 1-0 right now on Poison Ivy. Big kick there by Poison Ivy, but this is an entirely different Poison Ivy than what Elizabeth Swann faced off against months ago.
Absolutely. I mean, when you have a championship around your waist, it can change you. And it can change you when you've had a championship around your waist for a long time and you have it. You lose that belt and all of a sudden you're having to change your tactics. I mean, I can speak from experience. Look out here.
Oh! Crash and burn there by Elizabeth Swann. Poison Ivy laying in some hands. Oh, was going to go for it again, but reversal there. And now Elizabeth Swann wailing away on Poison Ivy. Referee Ernest Wright beginning the 10 count here. We saw him be lenient back in the previous matchup with Anthony McCurry and Shaggy Rogers. You got to think he's probably going to do the same here. Hopefully we won't get to that scenario where it'll have to be a buzzer beater to get in before the count of 10.
Big drop kick there, but yeah, I'm hoping that he does show the same leniency here because the circumstances are the same. There might be a lot of history between these two, a lot more history than our last semifinal on the men's side, but at the end of the day, you win this matchup, you're going to the Guardians of the Ring PLE with an opportunity to have a guaranteed title match. So
Referee at a count
already
of
an
8
8 count.
here.
We might need to see a buzzer beater.
Oh gosh, referee at a count of 9, and looks like both women are going to get inside of the ring here. Let's consider this as well. We mentioned this on the men's side. The springboard forearm by Poison Ivy takes Elizabeth Swann down, but in the case of RJ Bishop, the current Triwizard champion, there's no guarantee that Elastigirl is going to be the champion by the time we get to Combat Evolved. And consider this as well. One would certainly think that Poison Ivy has a title rematch coming up at some point here for that championship, as she's going to lock in the Ivy Vine submission here on Elizabeth Swann. Elizabeth's going to fight out of it, though. Nice reversal. But let's consider a fact if Poison Ivy ends up winning here tonight, ends up advancing to Combat Evolved, does that make the rematch null and void? Does she still get a rematch and then maybe goes into Combat Evolved as the champion? There's kind of muddy the waters.
It does. I mean, I would say maybe yes, it does make the rematch clause kind of null and void because you're just getting yourself a rematch anyway. Cover is in.
Oh, and a kick out at 2. Pretty powerful kick out there by Poison Ivy. Still a lot left in the tank.
Oh, and that bottom rope springboard did not connect, so Poison Ivy going to roll to the outside. Again, we're going to be in a count-out situation.
Oh, short compact DDT, and that was to the floor. We talk about it all the time. There's a very thin layer of padding there, but there's concrete floor underneath, so you feel it more of an impact on the outside than you would on the inside of the ring.
And we're at a 5 count again. These two have to work their way back into the ring. Nice reversal there by Poison Ivy. She'll be on her feet first, going back into the mat.
Winner of this matchup going to be facing off against either Rapunzel or Shuri. Their matchup later on to come tonight as a vice grip locked in here by Poison Ivy, trying to pinch that cervical nerve there in the jawline area. And now Elizabeth Swan setting up with the Pele kick.
Both women are down. Swan trying to find the strength to maybe try to get into the cover, but it doesn't look like she has that strength.
Just has to drape an arm across here. Now going to get back to her feet, cover in here on Poison Ivy. Is this enough to be able to advance? And yes, it is. All that time spent trying to recover. That kick must have been pretty powerful because Poison Ivy was not able to get her wherewithal and kick out.
Yeah, she didn't even move after she got hit with that Pele kick. That was about as powerful of a kick as you could have ever seen it. Elizabeth Swan again able to defeat Poison Ivy, and she's going to move on to this tournament final.
Kind of interesting, we didn't see Elizabeth Swan go for the Pirate's Plunge in this matchup. Changed it up a little bit there with that Pele kick, and now she is going to await her future opponent at Guardians of the Ring. It will either be Rapunzel or Shuri, but Elizabeth Swan one step closer to reclaiming the Women's Universal Championship.
Speaking of reclaiming, that's going to be the agenda in the next matchup. As I mentioned it earlier in the night, we've got the rematch clause. Carson Gum going to take on Elmo for the Wayfinder Cruiser Championship coming up here next.
The following contest is a steel cage match and is for the Global Cruiserweight Championship.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Well, the Wayfinder Cruiser Championship on the line. Here comes the former champion in Carson Gum, looking to be a two-time holder of the belt. And you saw it there, looming high above the ring, a steel cage match here tonight.
That information was new to me.
Yeah, same.
I was not aware that it was a steel cage match. I wonder if maybe some strings were pulled backstage by either Carson or Elmo. That's going to add a whole new dimension to this matchup, obviously, because with a steel cage match in play, that means you can win the match just by escaping the cage and having both your feet touch the floor.
Well, in terms of title belts on the men's side, the Wayfinder Cruiser Championship is the newest in terms of tenure, but there's been only a remote few that have been able to hold that title belt. Of course, Elmo, the most recent holder. Carson Gum, a former holder of the title belt. You could also add into that list Harry Potter, Cusco, and the gentleman to my left, Jack Mitchell. Only 5 individuals so far have held the title, but No one has ever held it more than once. History in the cruiserweight division could be made tonight if Carson can reclaim the gold.
He very well could do it too, but at the same time, Elmo is probably one of the most unpredictable opponents you'll ever see, so adding a steel cage to the mix as well, it's going to be crazy in this one.
And that almost makes me wonder even more who it was that wanted the stipulation. You talk about the unpredictability of Elmo. You certainly would think this would be something that he'd be keen to do, maybe throw Carson off his game, but at the same time, maybe Carson wants Elmo confined and not able to do any shenanigans on the outside, keep him where he can see him.
But at the same time, that also means you're stuck in a ring with Elmo.
True.
Very well could have been either one of them, so let's see how Elmo treats this one as well. I'm pretty sure he has never been inside of a steel cage before.
Elmo ended up winning the Wayfinder Cruiser Championship back on a previous episode of FWE Extra, just about a week and a half after the power-up PLE, his first title defense here tonight. And let's send it down to our ring announcer, Mike Rowe.
Introducing the challenger from Denton, Texas, weighing in at 230 pounds, the fireman, Sam Grimm. And his opponent from the internet, weighing in at 100 pounds, the global cruiserweight champion, Eli Mondo.
Well, we always talk about when you've already faced off against somebody, you can kind of formulate a plan. Is there any kind of a plan Carson Gum could have maybe been able to put together here as he looks to reclaim the title from Elmo, or is he one of those individuals where it's a play it by ear, you can't plan for him?
Maybe it's a bit of both. I mean, you should know what to expect, but at the same time, again, we talk about the unpredictability with Elmo, so just kind of have to expect the unexpected if you're Carson.
Steel cage match. There are multiple ways of winning this match, and either in Carson's case, reclaiming or Elmo retaining the title as a cover here in the early going and a kick out at 1. That's one of the ways, a pinfall or a submission. You can also win by escaping the cage. That's either by going out the door there you see on the left side of the screen. Referee has it currently locked, but he could unlock it and open it for one of these two individuals, or, as Carson's doing right now, up and over the top with both feet hitting the floor on the outside. That would also count as a victory.
It doesn't necessarily matter whether you go out the door or over the top. If both of your feet hit the floor, that's considered an escape, and that's the win. Elmo with a big kick to the head, though.
Saw there, though, how Elmo was able to take advantage. Bit of a chop block there to the leg of Carson Gum. Brings him crumbling down to the mat. This is chain link fence all around here. It's not all that easy to stick the toe of your shoe into that chain link to be able to get enough leverage to get yourself up over the top. That's valuable time that costs you if the opponent gets back up to their feet.
One other thing to consider in this matchup as well is that there's no DQ, so if they wanted to do anything like a low blow where maybe somebody snuck some brass knuckles into the ring, that would be legal. And, you know, granted, you can't necessarily access any other weapons that are underneath the ring, but you can use the cage as a weapon.
Certainly can, yes. Like Elmo was thinking about escaping the cage there, thinks better of it. Instead, whoa, wow, nice power bomb there on Carson. Cover in, and Carson gonna get the shoulder up at 1.
This matchup, I would venture to say, has been all Elmo so far, but there's a reversal by Carson, and if he can capitalize on that window, he knocks Elmo to his feet. This would be a golden chance for him.
Not sure he got all that clothesline, but it was enough that it staggered Elmo down to his knees. And now Carson in control, looking to take advantage of this window of opportunity. Massive suplex Beal there on Elmo. Almost threw him halfway across the ring. Sit down power bomb. Carson in control. Massive discus forearm, gonna drop Elmo down to the mat here. And Now Carson gonna pick him up and sidewalk slam.
Again, all the momentum now right back on Carson's side once he got that reversal in. Is he thinking about climbing out?
Might be looking to escape again here. Carson trying to get some footing there into that chain link fence. Trying to make his way at least up there to the top. Oh, he's going to get at least up onto the top of the structure, but Elmo's back to his feet. Can Elmo stop him is the question.
Elmo's got to be fast, maybe try to grab on that arm or that leg. Oh, this would be a dangerous fall for Carson.
Oh, gracious, this is not a good place to be if you are the challenger, as Elmo's got a hold of his leg, and he's going to bring him back inside of the structure.
I think almost mercifully, Carson is only going to be...
Oh,
his gosh! Gets dropped into the cage there. I was going to say, it wasn't that big of a fall for Carson, but it was still a long one, and now Elmo's on his way up. Never mind.
Shot to the kidneys there. Carson going to bring Elmo down. Oh, gosh.
I mean, it's not as dangerous of a fall because it's just for the top rope versus the very top of the cage, but it's still a pretty rough landing.
Bear hug locked in here. Carson trying to wear out that lower back. Elmo looking to fight out of that. That is a submission. If Elmo had tapped out or given up, the title would have changed hands, but a massive clothesline going to level the playing field.
Carson back to his feet and an Irish whip Elmo.
Whoa! Elmo able to duck that chop. And Carson just kind of runs him over with a shoulder tackle.
If you're Carson, you don't want to taunt for too long. This is your opportunity while Elmo's down. If you're thinking about an escape, this is the time.
Maybe Carson feels this is the end as he hoists up Elmo. Not a whole lot of body weight behind that Muppet, but still impressive here. The suspended vertical suplex. Blood rushing to the head of Elmo, and the impact of the mat doesn't do much good either.
Go for some kind of, I think there was a dominator of some sort.
Running power slam, actually, I believe there. And surprisingly did not go for the cover. I thought that might be an opportunity there. Oh, wow.
Oh,
you see how the rings, the ropes bend right there, the impact of that clothesline.
I was going to say, I'm surprised that Elmo didn't, the back of his head did not go into the steel cage there, but instead Elmo going to reverse one of Carson's attacks, now goes for the airplane head scissors.
Back and forth between these two. Wayfinder Cruiser Championship on the line. Nice duck by Carson on that clothesline. Irish whips Elmo into the corner. Another reversal by Elmo. These two back and forth. No one seems to be able to gain an advantage. But the Destroyer might be the turning point. Cover in and a kick out before the referee even counted one. And Elmo can't believe it.
He's calling for the door.
Elmo gets out of the door. He retains the title, but oh no! Carson's got him up. Looking maybe for the F5. Connects. Do we have a new champion? Do we have the first multi-time champion in the Cruiserweight division? No, it's a kick out of two.
Carson's not done yet, though. He's setting up for something else.
Maybe a second F5. Hits it.
Oh.
That's got to be it. Cover is in by Carson on Elmo. And that will do it. Referee counts 3, first time ever. We have a multi-time champion in the Wayfinder Cruiser division.
Not necessarily sure that second move was an F5, but it was just as devastating. And just like that, we have our first two-time Cruiserweight champion. But up next, two faction mates face off in our second men's tournament semifinal.
Raise your hands, let the fire ignite. Bound by fate, we'll win this fight. Through the storm, hear the echoes cling. Side by side, we're the guardians of the ring.
The following contest Just making the net. Making his way to the ring, representing the Outsiders from Baghdad, Iraq, weighing in at 163 pounds.
Well, it's interesting, Jack. You and I were talking about this last night in preparation for this evening's PLE. The last time we had Saturday at Springfield, we had just crossed into the new year, and it was an entirely different PLE for Aladdin.
Absolutely, and I mean, Aladdin, this is definitely a huge moment for him as an opportunity at redemption.
Weighing in at 165 pounds.
Just to elaborate, we were talking about when he was taking on Hades in the casket match last time we had a Saturday night at Springfield. So this is a beautiful opportunity here for Aladdin to get a bit of redemption, personal redemption, and trying to earn himself a matchup in next Thursday's PLE.
That casket match, he came back, had the match with Hades. It was a losing effort, but he had been on the shelf prior to that with a neck injury. Now here tonight, an opportunity for the very first time for both of these gentlemen, an opportunity to maybe, just maybe, fight for the Tri-Wizard Championship at Combat Evolve. But we talk about better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Both of these guys are tag team partners, now having to go one-on-one. They obviously know the chemistry, know the tendencies of each other. How does that help or hinder in this one-on-one matchup?
Well, I'm not necessarily certain because I've never faced a tag team partner before, but I think you really just want to make sure that you put your, I always talk about it, you want to put your friendship aside. Business comes first in a matchup like this.
We already know that Shaggy Rogers has moved on to the finals for this upcoming Thursday night's Guardians of the Ring tournament. One of these two going to be facing off against him. It's kind of interesting. We talked about the previous matchup between Anthony and Shaggy. Both have held gold of some kind here in FWE. Both these individuals have never held a belt of any kind. As a flying senton by Flynn Rider takes down his faction mate Aladdin.
Once again, we're going to get into count-out territory. You know, one question that is in the back of my mind, I talked about how, you know, you're going to have to put business first and put the friendship second, but at the end of the day, it is worth wondering if these two will remain friends by the end of this matchup, because we had I think it was a power-up qualifier, I want to say, or maybe it was the Fatal 4-Way. There was some kind of qualifier matchup between the two members of Catching Fireflies, and it did not look like for a little while that they were on the same page, but ultimately they did manage to figure that whole thing out. You have to wonder the same thing might be in play here for these two.
Yeah, that was indeed a power-up qualifier, to your point, and we obviously saw that the chemistry is back for Catching Fireflies. We're going to be seeing them later on tonight in the main event. First time ever going to take on Team Let It Go for the Women's Disney Tag Team titles. As a cover here by Flynn Rider on Aladdin and a kick out at 2.
Again, this matchup to determine who is going to go up against Shaggy Rogers in the finals of our Guardians of the Ring tournament. On the men's side, as we got another cover here. Kick out before 1 by Flynn. There's a lot of questions that are going to get answered next Thursday when we get to that PLE, including those strange vignettes that we've been seeing during those commercial breaks. I mean, we still have no idea what they've been leading up to. We just know that we're going to find something out when we get to that PLE.
So I got a tiny bit more information. It's not much, but I talked with somebody back in the production truck this past week, and I said, why are we getting these vignettes? They said, the only thing we are allowed to tell you is something big is coming. So I guess it's something outside of the fact we've got the Guardians of the Ring PLE coming up, but they wouldn't give me any other information than that. So that's the most hype we can give you guys, is you got to tune in this Thursday night, because apparently something big is in the works as a 450 splash by Aladdin.
Massive 450, but yeah, absolutely do not miss out on that PLE, but don't miss out on what's going to happen in this matchup here. I'm going to work his way out of that. Airplane head scissors connects.
Takes Aladdin down. Flynn Rider feeling the momentum right now. Sling Blade takes Aladdin down, gonna follow it up with a drop kick right to the side of the face, right on that right ear.
Oh gosh. Got some serious height on that moonsault.
Now Flynn firmly in control, standing Spanish fly. Both of these two very acrobatic, not afraid to go to the top rope as Flynn's gonna do right here. What in the world is he thinking? Oh my gosh! Was that a reverse 450? I believe it was. Cover in on Aladdin, and Flynn Rider is advancing to the finals.
Here is your winner,
One of the more impressive finishing moves I've ever seen. A reverse 450. Was not a very lengthy matchup, but it was enough.
Both men up to the top rope. A 450 from Aladdin, a reverse 450 from Flynn Rider, and Flynn gets it done. There you see it, folks. The matchup is set this Thursday night. One of these two, Shaggy Rogers or Flynn Rider, get the guaranteed title shot at Combat Evolved.
Coming up next, we determine the final participant in the other side of the women's final. Shuri takes on Rapunzel coming up next.
Raise your hands, let the fire ignite. Bound by fate, we'll win this fight. Through the storm, hear the echoes cling. Side by side, we're the guardians of the ring.
is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring, representing the Queens from Camelot, the Lost Princess.
Well, that music sounds very familiar. That's because just moments ago we heard it playing for the victory of Flynn Rider, who is moving on into the finals of the Guardians of the Ring tournament for the men's side. Rapunzel now with an opportunity to join her counterpart at the PLE as she gets ready to take on Shuri.
It's certainly not going to be an easy one. I mean, it's definitely a new path for Rapunzel because she very formidable inside the women's tag team division, but Shuri might be pretty hungry in this matchup as well because she's never really had much of an opportunity to hold singles gold, so this would be a big matchup for her as well.
And from Uganda, Black Archer.
Well, we ended up seeing back during the Fatal 4-Way qualifying matchup, Shuri sporting this somewhat new warlike style, and it got her to this semi-final. Shuri, as you mentioned, she's tried to get into the conversation for titles. She tried getting into the tag team title picture with Black Widow. She tried getting into the Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Championship picture. Heck, you go back to Infinity War Games. She was a surprise entrant for the Women's Universal Championship, came up in a losing effort, but here tonight could take one step closer to her first title in FWE if she can defeat a former tag team champion.
Again, this is going to determine the last spot in the finals on the women's side. As you saw earlier tonight, the former Women's Universal Champion Elizabeth Swan was victorious over Poison Ivy. Cover right here, right out of the gate by Rapunzel. Kick out at 1.
Let's talk about endurance here. Rapunzel, she ended up advancing in the second Fatal 4-Way qualifying matchup. Shuri, she ended up advancing in the last one. So if you're looking at somebody to be maybe a little bit healthier, the advantage might go to Rapunzel.
Shuri, though, going to fight in the corner. Rapunzel is down.
While Rapunzel might be a little bit better off physically here in this matchup, is hold on, Shuri up to the top rope here. What is she thinking?
Oh, big arm
Corkscrew
drag there.
arm drag. Gonna take Rapunzel down. I gotta wonder about the mental state of Rapunzel, because let's not forget, it wasn't all that long ago that, oh, hold on, cover here, and referee Ernest Straight says that right leg, that right foot is under the ropes. It calls for the rope break, but Remember, Rapunzel and Belle, they ended up trying to, again, some costly errors there by Shuri.
Away from the ropes.
But Rapunzel and Belle, they tried to get back into the women's tag team title picture. We're hoping to fight for the belts here tonight, but they lost to Katniss Everdeen and Ellie of Catching Fireflies. Does that maybe in some way kind of occupy space in the mind of Rapunzel here in this matchup?
I mean, you'd have to think that that's certainly in the back of her mind, because she wants to have some kind of success if she's not able to win the tag titles again, as there's a big DDT.
Big clotheslines by Rapunzel, sweeps the leg of Shuri. Rapunzel in control right now. One member of the Disney Queens has formerly held the Women's Universal Championship. That was Mulan, won it back at Paramount.
Shuri gonna try and work her way back up, but she's gonna be dazed in the corner for a little bit. That could be what Rapunzel wants, as she has her opponent on the top rope. Look out.
Nothing good happens up here. Oh, avalanche bulldog. And now Rapunzel setting Shuri up. Whoop, go behind. Neck breaker. Nice counter by Shuri.
Really good counter, and now Shuri's going to have a window of offense here, but can she capitalize on it?
Got Rapunzel up. Might be thinking snake eyes in the corner. Rapunzel's head bounces off that top turnbuckle.
Oh, look out here.
Draping guillotine leg drop across that bottom rope, and now Shuri is in control. One of these two women we know will advance to the finals. Elizabeth Swann has already moved on. This is a long ways for Shuri to go for whatever she's planning here. Another arm drag.
Again. Like he said, she had a long way to go, but she made it work. Covered all that distance in midair.
Go behind, sling blade. Cover here by Shuri. Is this enough to advance into the Guardians of the Ring finals? No!
Oh my.
Rapunzel just barely got that left shoulder up off the mat.
I was chanting fight forever. I'm not necessarily certain they can, but these two are putting on a show here.
No, we got a tag team matchup to get to here tonight as well, so they can't fight forever. Another takedown here by Shuri. Elizabeth Swann, you gotta think backstage, looking to see who her future opponent's going to be this Thursday night at Guardians of the Ring, the tournament finals. To my knowledge, she and Rapunzel have never faced off against each other in a one-on-one. As a cover here by Shuri on Rapunzel, and that's gonna be enough to do it.
Here's your winner, Black Parker.
And I was going to mention, that was kind of quick. I was going to mention, we're going to get to see another rematch. Infinity War Games. Shuri and Elizabeth Swann, they faced off for the Women's Universal Championship. Now they're going to face off again, this time in the finals of the Guardians of the Ring tournament.
That's going to be a hell of a rematch to look forward to. A big flurry of offense by Shuri at the end gives her the win over Rapunzel. She'll be taking on Elizabeth Swann in the finals of the Women's Guardian of the Ring tournament.
We know it's going to be make that Shaggy Rogers and Flynn Rider on the men's side. Now Elizabeth Swann and Shuri on the women's side. And up next, our main event, the Women's Disney Tag Team titles on the line.
Raise your hands, let the fire ignite. Bound by fate, we'll win this fight. Through the storm, hear the echoes cling. Side by side, we're the Guardians of the Ring.
Anna and Elsa coming out here getting ready to defend the Women's Disney Tag Team Championships, the only duo in FWE to hold those tag team titles more than once. We saw them defeat Disney Strong Style to hold these belts. Tonight, they take on Catching Fireflies. This team has been very formidable. They kind of branched off doing their own thing during the power-up qualifying matches. We, of course, saw Anna take place in that power-up ladder match, but now looks like they're back to business as a duo.
Yeah, they are. They've been one of the more formidable duos that we've seen in the tag team division.
You alluded to it earlier on tonight. We ended up seeing both Katniss and Ellie in the same power-up qualifying matchup. We ended up seeing, as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think Katniss ended up eliminating Ellie in that qualifying matchup. There were big question marks on whether the chemistry was going to remain with this duo. They looked really good in their matchup against Mystery Incorporated. We saw them bring that chemistry back as they were able to defeat Belle and Rapunzel of the Disney Queens. They've been on a roll as of late, defeating former tag team champions. Now can they defeat the women that currently hold the belts?
It's definitely going to be one of the more difficult challenges. Obviously, we've talked about it before, but these two on the other side of the ring, Team Let It Go, the only two-time women's tag team champions.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall and is for the Women's Superstars Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers, the Anarchists, and their opponents, the Women's Superstars Tag Team Champions, the Spitfire Warriors.
There you see the title belts on the line. Anna and Elsa, their second reign as tag team champions. Katniss and Ellie looking for their first title reign here in the tag team division. Is Ellie gonna start things off here with Elsa? And a big clothesline to kick things off.
Massive clothesline, and kind of curious to see what the psychology is going to be, because Elsa is just kind of standing there to start that matchup, and they went for the same kick at the same time.
Either one connecting with their big boots. Is now a knee up under the jaw by Elsa. Early cover and a kick out at one by Katniss. It kind of almost seems like a feeling out process here on both sides in the early going.
Anna with a big kick to the head of Katniss. Another one for good measure.
Another early cover by Anna, this time on Katniss. And again, a kick out at one. Do you think this is the champions trying to get in the head of the challengers? Because this is the first time that Katniss and Ellie have ever been in this position.
Very well could be the case.
Tonight's main event, the Women's Disney Tag Team titles on the line this Thursday night. We now know that on the men's side for the tag team titles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Donatello and Leonardo will defend against members of the family, new members of the family, Ed and Eddie, as they were able to defeat the Black Pearl crew earlier on tonight. We now also have our finals for both the men's and the women's side of the Guardians of the Ring tournament. Elizabeth Swann will be taking on Shuri. Shaggy Rogers will be taking on Flynn Rider. And how about this for some other announcements? We, of course, ended up seeing about a week ago, Shigo has staked her claim to be the #1 contender for the Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Championship. She'll be taking on Susan Storm. Dylan Pote will put the Intercontinental Championship on the line, rematch against Hades, and just added to the card, we saw that Poison Ivy has not advanced into the finals of the Guardians of the Ring tournament. She lost to Elizabeth Swann earlier on tonight. tonight. She gets her title rematch against Elastigirl for the Women's Universal Championship this Thursday night.
I mean, this Thursday night's just going to be one of the biggest PLEs in FWE history, and obviously the something big that we've alluded to is on the horizon there as well, so definitely tune in next Thursday night.
I believe that Ellie and Elsa are the two legal participants, but you've got Ellie and Anna on the far side. Elsa just took out Katniss out near us. Carnage, pandemonium on the outside of the ring right now. Referee trying to restore a little bit of order.
I've kind of lost track of who the legal participants are, but I think
it's Ellie and Elsa, but I might be wrong.
So.
Ellie taking Anna out. And now Elsa with a boot right to the side of the head of Ellie. Shot to the gut, forearm shot, got her hoisted up, thinking about something here. Oh
my.
Falcon Arrow.
That's not a move we've seen out of Elsa that often.
No.
And there's a kick to the head.
Tag team champions right now in control. Is Elsa gonna bring Ellie over to the wrong part of town if you're Ellie? Tag into her sister. Little double team here by Team Let It Go. Irish whip, double shoulder block.
We're gonna let Ellie make the hot tag. Katniss is the legal participant. She may not realize that Elsa isn't legal.
Oh!
Big kick by Anna.
She realizes it now after that big boot. Nice suplex by Anna. Springboard moonsault to follow it up, and here's the cover to retain the titles here tonight at Saturday Springfield, and a powerful kick out at 2.
Plenty of life left in the challengers, but for how long? The longer this interaction continues with Katniss down, it's going to be more difficult.
Oh,
another
my
big boot.
Gosh! Lights out for Katniss, and Ellie, I believe, felt the end was near as well. Gets in to break that up. Katniss still has not moved after that massive super kick. Oh, might have been playing possum, though.
I think Elsa was thinking about maybe making some kind of attack on Katniss before that tag was made.
Knee to the gut, shot to the back of the head there by Elsa. Whoop, not sure what she was going for there. Nice avoidance by Ellie, and now trying to knot up that hamstring. Oh, look out, ref. Ernest right in the bad spot right there.
Tag is made again. They're doing a good job, Team Let It Go are, with these tags, keeping their opponents on their toes. They're keeping each other fresh in this matchup as well, but a nice reversal by Ellie.
Shot to the gut there by Ellie on Anna. To your point there, though, too. You know, they've held the tag team titles before. They've been a mainstay here in the tag team division. That veteran experience of Team Let It Go coming to light here with those frequent tags.
Again, these two go for the same move at the same time, but it doesn't connect.
I believe that was a kick to the lower back there by Katniss. Now gonna mount Anna, laying in those palm strikes. Anna trying to do her best to cover up. Oh, look at that!
Oh.
Suckered Katniss in.
On the ropes, big punch to the head. Katniss's lights are out. That could be it.
Cover is in. And again, Ellie gonna save the matchup for her team. Oh, but pays the price. Oh my goodness. That forearm just crumpled her down to the mat. Kind of looked like one of those wavy inflatable tube guys when you deflate them. That did buy Katniss some valuable time there on the outside, though. Let's see what she can do, if she can maybe find a second wind here against Elsa. Irish whipped into the corner, shot to the gut. Now just laying in those knees, almost MMA style.
Right to the gut, and now Elsa's down in the corner. planting the feet right into her face area. Oh, look out!
Double knees, Meteora. Using those ropes for leverage, a pendulum-like move. Now the tag in here to Ellie. Elsa is down.
Ellie's had a moment to rest too, so she can have enough stamina left over for one last big move. There it is!
Massive chop! This is how they defeated the Disney Queens. And Anna gonna save the matchup and save the tag team titles for the moment.
Only for the moment, though. These two participants who are not legal are going to have to take the combat outside the ring, and the longer they go at one another, the longer that's going to leave these two without a tag partner.
Continuing to work on that midsection there was Ellie. And now again, almost the shades of what her tag team partner just did. Another pendulum Meteora here, and Elsa's in big, big trouble.
No tag partner either. Elsa is in massive trouble here. If she cannot find any kind of offense and doesn't have anybody to tag in,
the fight's still continuing on the outside here between Katniss and Anna, so neither one actually have anyone to tag in at the moment. Oh, look out! Anna right here in front of our announce table. Her midsection driven into the corner of it.
We have to call the matchup, and we have to dodge people being thrown right at us. Covers in, though.
Covers in. Could we have new tag team champions?
Ooh.
And Elsa gets the shoulder up at 2.
Right to the jaw. This has been all Ellie. I mean, this could be the end of it here.
Katniss back up on the corner there. Looking for that guillotine choke. Feet off the mat here by Elsa. A lot of pressure there on the head and neck region, and Ellie, I believe, released the hold.
He wants to land one massive move. Maybe looking for that huge chop again. Reversal, though, by Elsa.
Oh, look out. Whoa! Oh. Referee Ernest right. How did he dodge that?
I have no idea how.
I mean, did Ellie kind of maybe use him as a pick there so Ellie didn't see that Superman punch coming? I'm not sure, but it landed on its mark, and all of a sudden, Ellie is back in, or make that Elsa rather, is back in control.
Now, all of a sudden, Ellie looks like she might be the one who needs a tag, but Elsa's going to go for it instead.
Comes Anna. You gotta wonder what she's feeling like after her midsection was driven into the corner of our announce table here on the outside. Oh!
Trying to read each other's playbooks here, but they're going a little too early.
Another
big Superman punch.
Big one there. Second Superman punch that Ellie has been dealt with. Cover in by Anna and a kick out at 2. The matchup continues. Elsa just disposed of Katniss, and Anna is setting up for something. Might be thinking reverse GTS.
That's it.
That could be it. Katniss is still down on the floor. Cover in, and the tag champs will retain.
Matchups here at Saturday Night at Springfield have never disappointed. This was another all-timer. Shout out to these tag teams for an epic performance, but at the end of the day, Team Let It Go show you why they are the dominant tag team champions right now.
Veteran experience comes into play. Team Let It Go remain at the top of the division, but credit where credit's due to catching fireflies. Well, folks, we thank you for joining us here tonight for Saturday Night at Springfield. Our Guardians of the Ring tournament finals ready to be run this Thursday night. It's Guardians of the Ring PLE. We will see you then.